What's going on, Lions fans? Welcome to the Pride of Detroit YouTube channel. My name is Miko, and this is your go-to place for all things Lions related. That includes news, updates, analysis, and so much more. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking down some of the big news to come out of the first day of free agency. Well, technically, it's the tampering period, but we are actually getting signings of players to other teams, and the Lions wasted no time getting in the mix. Now, before we jump into the details of some of the deals that they had, if this is your first time ever checking out the Pride of Detroit YouTube channel, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to find our content in the future. We post videos multiple times throughout the week, and we occasionally go live over here on YouTube and Twitch as well. So if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll be notified when we do those things over here on YouTube. Now, with that said, let's jump into some of the news that broke today regarding the Detroit Lions. First and foremost, the Lions did in fact lose Carlton Davis in free agency. He has decided to sign with the New England Patriots for a 3-year deal worth up to $60 million. And this is exactly the type of deal that Carlton Davis was talking about, or at least alluding to, prior to free agency kicking off. Morgan and I talked about this last week in our free agency preview when we were looking at the cornerback class. And while we both had Carlton Davis near the top in terms of priorities for us, and in terms of like players that we thought the Lions should prioritize and sign, we did at least recognize that, listen, Carlton is at least talking as if he's somebody that wants to go to the place where he's going to be paid the most amount of money. And in New England, he's getting that opportunity to make north of that $15 million a year type of money. And it's a range that reports were starting to come out and say that the Lions weren't quite willing to go to in terms of a player of Carlton's caliber. Now, at least me personally, I do think that Carlton Davis was worth that type of price tag. And so it's at least, nice for me to at least see that he at least got what he was looking for based on like the way that he plays, in terms of him being a physical corner, in terms of him being able to play the run and the type of impact that he has on the defense. We got to see it one season here in Detroit, but if you go back and you look at what he had done prior to that in Tampa, you could see someone that was playing cornerback at a very, very high level. So he leaves Detroit, goes to New England, gets the money he was looking for, and is able to get paired up with Christian Gonzalez, and they basically make a nice little cornerback tandem over there in the AFC East. Now, heading back and focusing back on the NFC North, which is what we all care about, the Lions were at least able to soften the blow of losing Carlton Davis by signing cornerback DJ Reed from the New York Jets. Now, this is a huge signing for the Lions because a lot of people had DJ Reed listed as one of the top players that teams should be seeking after going into free agency. And I don't just mean like one of the top corners or anything like that. I mean one of the top players. And so the fact that the Lions went out, prioritized him as a target, and went out and actually was able to acquire him for a 3-year deal worth up to $48 million is a huge get for the Lions, because again, you get that high-end corner, but you get it at a price point that you were comfortable at playing at. And it's a really, first and foremost, it's a good sign on Brad Holmes, right? Again, I think people sometimes question whether or not he's truly prioritizing the right things in terms of the right positions or the right types of players. And I think he shows that by going out and getting a guy like DJ Reed. Again, he didn't go out and get the 5th best corner in the class. He didn't go out and get a veteran that you could use as another 1-year rental. He went out and got a younger guy who's, again, considered by a lot of analysts and a lot of sports analysts to be one of the top corners in the NFL at this time, and at least being available in free agency. And so you're able to get him, you're able to bring him in. He's a veteran that can be a mentor to the likes of Terrion Arnold and as Rick Stroud Jr. But at the same time, he brings a certain level of physicality and veteran experience to your DB room, so that you're not necessarily having to, you're not forced into a position where you have to start 2 young guys. He brings a good amount of competition, and at least he fits your style. He's a man-to-man corner. He plays well against the run, and he's going to be physical despite his stature. He only is 5'9", 188 pounds, maybe like around 190 pounds. But he plays so much bigger than what you would expect for someone of that size. And that should sound very familiar if you think about what the Lions went out and did last offseason, going out and signing Amik Robertson, and the type of impact he had on this defense, not just in the slot position, but also when they asked Amik to go out and play outside, he went out there and played just as, competitively against the likes of Justin Jefferson and things of that nature And so when you look at someone like DJ Reed, while he was someone that Morgan and I honestly didn't talk about in our video when previewing this cornerback class, that wasn't because of his talent. It was more so because I thought DJ Reed was going to get priced out of the Lions range. So while it's a credit to Brad Holmes for going out and prioritizing, again, going out and getting one of the best corners in the class, it's also a credit to DJ Reed of seeing what is being built in Detroit and prioritizing being in an environment where he can win games and not just be paid a lot of money. Because again, not to say that that's wrong, and that's not a shot or a slight at Carlton Davis or anyone else that's taking deals to get paid. Listen, you can only play the NFL game for a certain amount of time. And for some people, making sure that you're financially stable in that short amount of time is a huge priority, and it probably should be for some people. But the fact that DJ Reed looked at what is being built in Detroit, seeing how competitive they are in defense, and decided, like, hey, this is where I want to take my talent, is a huge credit to him in terms of, again, how he views his career and what he prioritizes. So I'm really excited about the potential of what a DB room is going to look like when you have a DJ Reed and a Meek Robertson, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and then we're actually probably going to see a little bit more of Ennis Rakestraw Jr. this upcoming season. I think you have the types of corners that you're looking for in terms of physicality, in terms of going out there and being competitive, playing man to man. You look at someone like DJ Reed, and he has been that kind of guy ever since he came into the league back in 2018 with the San Francisco 49ers. Didn't get a lot of starting opportunities until he moved over to Seattle. And in 2021 is when he really started, being one of those, everyday starters for them. And he has been pretty much as close to lockdown as you can kind of, name in this league. You're talking about a guy that has had over, 10 passes defended in 3 of the last 4 seasons that he's played. You're talking about a guy that doesn't routinely give up a lot of 100-yard games. You're talking about a guy that at the same time is just consistently feisty in every, phase of the game. I talked about him playing up against Justin Jefferson last year, and again, limited Justin Jefferson in that game in the similar way that we saw Amik Robertson do it. And when you talk about the game that he had against Minnesota, you're talking about a guy that was targeted 7 times, only gave up 2 receptions for 16 yards. This is a feisty corner, and it's exactly what you're looking for when you're talking about having guys on the outside that can make life difficult and make quarterbacks have to make tight throws, so that, again, in the likelihood that you can either get interceptions, you can get passes deflected, and that's nothing going but positive things for your defense. And again, having a guy that doesn't just go out there and cover, but also defends the run and that will actually come up there and tackle people, and you can send him on blitzes and he'll get there and he'll create pressure as well, is a huge get for this Lions defense, especially when you look at what Carlton Davis brought last year. As much as, we talk about corners and we typically talk about their coverage skills, one of the things that I harped on a lot about Carlton Davis last year was his ability to defend the run. And DJ Reed brings that same type of mentality. Yes, it's in a shorter stature, but it's that same type of dog mentality that he's going to go out there and he's going to compete every single play. And I think that's exactly what the Lions are looking for when they're looking to build out this secondary. So in terms of first impressions off of the first day of NFL tampering, I think the Lions hit it out the park with this one by going out there and getting DJ Reed. There is still a lot of time left in free agency. Obviously, this is, like I said, this isn't even the official free agency period. This is just the tampering period. And so we're still yet to see all of the moves that the Lions are going to be looking to make. Obviously, they already made some moves over the weekend in signing Derek Barnes and a couple other linebackers. They now go out and they get another corner. I don't know if you want to look at DJ Reed as CB1, CB2. Either way, you have a starting caliber corner that's been added to this roster, and it's a hole that's been plugged because I think there's a lot of people that looked at that part of this defense and was like, hey, you got to go out there and get a quality starter. And you get that in DJ Reed. He's someone that's going to go out there, and I think he's going to start on the outside for you immediately. He's played a little bit in the slot. He does have some versatility, but he's primarily an outside corner. And so, again, if it's me kind of just, again, projecting what I think this defense will look like in terms of the secondary, you'll have Terrion starting on the outside on one side. You'll have DJ Reed on the other. You'll more than likely have Amik Robinson manning the slot once again. And then obviously you'll have Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph playing, your safety position. So it's a very, very improved defense. I think it goes from, again, you losing one piece to immediately gaining another. It's going to be interesting to see how the Lions attack the rest of free agency, going through this week and even into next week as well, as they still have some holes on the defensive line, the offensive line as well. And there's a couple, holes in terms of adding some depth at some other positions like wide receiver and defensive tackle as well. So again, this is just the beginning. Like, I want to really, really stress you guys, this is just the tampering period. Free agency doesn't even officially kick off until Wednesday. So if you don't see the Lions making a ton of moves, or if you're just, getting antsy because you're seeing so many other teams make moves, just relax. It's all going to settle. It's all going to work itself out. There's going to be a number of players that aren't going to sign until later this week. There's going to be some players that are still going to get released that could become available later this offseason altogether. And let's not forget, this is a team in the Detroit Lions that has primarily focused on the draft more than anything. Yes, free agency is a tool that they use to help plug some holes, but they're still going to look at the draft, and they're still going to look to add depth once the draft finally gets here. And that's where we could definitely see some influx of young talent into this roster as well. So that's pretty much going to do it for me and my thoughts on the signing of DJ Reed, as well as the loss of Carlton Davis. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you excited about the DJ Reed signing? What do you think about Carlton Davis, choosing to take his talents over to New England for the contract that he got? And ultimately, what do you think about this Detroit Lions secondary going into the 2025 season? Do you think it's better? Do you think it's worse? Let me know all of that in the comment section below. Also, if you're looking for any additional Lions content, you can always check out prideofdetroit.com. That is where all the latest updates. Also, if you're looking for any more additional information about the Detroit Lions, you can check out the prideofdetroit.com website. That is where all the latest updates on free agency and any other contract details can be found. Also, if you want to stay locked in on any of the video content, like I mentioned at the top of this video, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, please be sure to drop a like on this video as well if you found this information beneficial. And with all of that said, I'm Miko, and I'll see you guys in the next one.